There are very few people these days who don't use social media in one form or another, whether personally or via a business account. What you post doesn't just reflect on you, it can also impact on us, as even your personal online profile is very likely to identify us as your employer, which is why we have a social media policy. The full policy was given to you with your employment contract, and you have signed to confirm that you will abide by its terms. But here are some key points. This relates to all social media platforms, including platforms not yet invented. If you do make discriminatory or derogatory remarks, you are not just in breach of our policy, you are in breach of the law. And any breach of the policy can lead to disciplinary action and potentially dismissal. The following excerpt from a video by What You Need to Know highlights some of these issues.
Social media has changed the way we communicate and send messages to each other, and this can have implications for our professional lives. So this is Social Media and Work by What You Need to Know. Before social media, when someone thought they'd received poor customer service, they told on average about 10 people. Nowadays, they're also likely to use different social media platforms to post images, videos and comments about how they've been treated to hundreds, thousands and sometimes millions. These can be extremely damaging to the organisations and individuals concerned, and the people who make these posts can be held accountable if they make defamatory comments or what are called malicious falsehoods. Many people think of social media as something personal and nothing to do with work, but let's look at two cases which ended up in employment tribunals. An employee was dismissed for posting detrimental comments about his employer and damaging the firm's reputation. The employee claimed that he'd been unfairly dismissed and he had freedom of expression rights. The tribunal found that the employee had agreed to the firm's social media policy, which explicitly dealt with this type of post, and had therefore broken his agreement. And also that the comments he made were not the type that are particularly important to free expression. The employee lost his case and his job. Another example involves the manageress of a pub, who, after receiving verbal abuse from some of her customers, posted derogatory comments about them online. At the disciplinary hearing, the manageress said that she knew this was against the company's social media policy, but felt that this was acceptable as she'd set her privacy settings so that only 40 to 50 of her friends would see the post. Well, it turned out that they were available to many more people, and as the issue had been reported by a customer, it was considered that the posts weren't private, and she lost her case and her job. Although it's a good idea to check privacy settings, once something's on the internet, it can be hard to control. Screenshots can be taken, and so-called friends can share or repost your comments to a much wider audience.
So, by way of a reminder, here are some do's and don'ts. Do share your passion for your role and our workplace. Do think first about whether something you find funny might upset someone else. Do immediately remove anything inappropriate that someone else tags you in. And do check your privacy settings. Do not share your gripes about colleagues, customers or management. Do not reshare or repost any material that someone might find offensive. Do not give away anything confidential. Do not share someone else's images or content without their permission. And finally, if in doubt, don't post it. You can always share with a manager if you're not sure.